YCN, your local view on WVBK-CA, serving Manchester, Londonderry, Vermont, and South Charlestown, New Hampshire, and WVBQ-LP, serving Charlestown, New Hampshire, and Rockingham, Vermont.
Welcome to the Upper Valley Chronicle. I'm your host, Ann Holmes. Once again, we are coming to you from the beautiful living room of Valley Terrace in Wilder, Vermont, a stunning and active assisted living facility, and it's part of the Terrace community family. We are being brought to you by the Vermont, New Hampshire Visiting Nurse and Hospice. Our guests today include Angela Warren, a home health care nurse who loves her work and has helped so many families in the Upper Valley. Jason Johnson from Billings Farm in Woodstock will talk about his role as farm manager and some of the winter and spring activities there. Dr. Stephen Bartels from the Aging Resource Center at Dartmouth will talk about that amazing place and how you can use it to help yourself or an aging parent or loved one. When we come back, Upper Valley Chronicle will be talking to the charming Angela Warren. See you after the break.
To hold a patent that has changed the modern world would define you as an innovator. To hold more than one patent of this caliber would define you as a true leader. To hold over 80,000, well, that would make you the creators of the 2013 Mercedes-Benz E-Class, quite possibly the most advanced luxury sedan ever.
Holloway Motor Cars of Manchester, benzcars.com.
Simple solutions in a challenging world. Let Echo Communications make your life simpler. From the beginning, creating design, through the commercial print process, and ending with custom mailing, all easily coordinated in one place. Echo Communications provides simple solutions in a challenging world. One place, many solutions.
My guest now is Angela Warren. Angela is a nurse with the VNA of Vermont and New Hampshire. And how long have you been with the agency, Angela?
About a year.
About a year. And what's your background in nursing? Where did you come from a nursing background?
No. No. I actually ran hotels for a long time. And then I wanted to get into nursing after I got my bachelor's degree. I wanted to go back to school to get my nursing degree, and so I moved over this way and got involved in dialysis. So I did that for about 5 years, and along the way I got my nursing degree, and I found in dialysis that the thing that I liked to focus on the most were the families that were moving toward end of life, and so visiting nurse and hospice was
a good place
for me.
Yeah. And you actually go into the homes with the care team, and since you're an RN, you obviously can do more than some other people because you're so highly trained. What do you like about your work in the home?
The thing that attracts me to it the most is, for myself, for people in my own family, I find that you feel better when you're in your own home, in your own space. So it's great for us to be able to go in, keep them in their home. You know, they're happier. It's just an all-over better situation for them. It keeps them away from that clinical hospital.
Scary, yeah.
It's more comfortable for them.
And they're surrounded by their family and
their pets.
Yeah.
It's a big deal for some people to be away from, Spot or whatever. It's traumatic for them to be away from cats, dogs, whatever it is that is part of their home, whether it's family people, family animals. all of those things.
And I know you were saying off camera that you had some stories that really touched your heart about people. Can you share with us some of the things that really make your job worthwhile?
Sure. Actually, some of the best things are the things that we do when we're not at work. We organize some toy drives at Christmas time, helping out families that can't afford it otherwise. We have a couple of nurses that around the holidays get us all roused up to bring in food for Thanksgiving baskets, Christmas baskets, and going out into the homes and delivering those things, and the reception that you get from the families, that they don't expect it. They are happy that they're getting the service that they're getting to begin with, to keep them in their homes, and then to be able to get all of us together to make their holidays a little bit better, to get them in a place where they wouldn't be otherwise. It's amazing. Lots of hugging and crying goes on.
Yeah.
Those people are just so appreciative.
And so do you find you and your care team, you get close to the families? And
Oh, yeah. It's nice. In hospice, you get to transition people through the end of life, so that the family's prepared, so that they know what to expect, so that they can properly care for their loved one at home with our help. And then in home care, it's sort of similar, but you're helping them on the road to recovery. And as much as you want to see them get better, it's really hard to go in for that last visit and
let them go.
And let them go.
Yeah. And for your home care, you don't just do geriatrics; it's people of all ages, right?
Oh yeah. And I think when I first started working for the agency, I thought, oh, this is great. I'm going to be able to work with the elderly all the time. And really a huge spectrum. There's maternal child care nursing that we have.
Was that for like moms of new babies?
Yeah. They do all kinds of education, and I don't know a lot about that side because I haven't worked a lot with it yet, but we have everything from maternal child care, post-surgical patients, from kids to teens to middle-aged adults. Lots of people are being sent home now with their chemotherapy. We're able to disconnect them from their chemotherapy at home so that they can actually get their treatment over a couple of days instead of that drive back and forth to the hospital. They're able to go home, recover for a few days, and it's just, there's so many services that we can do for them. Wound care is a major part. So and they don't have to run back and forth to the hospital.
Right.
The doctors are all really great, get them on the phone, whatever you need, you can take care of in the home. Safer environment for sure.
Right, yeah. Thank you, Angela, for talking to us today, and check out the VNA of Vermont in New Hampshire. Ask for a nurse like Angela, or who you will fall in love with, and when she comes into your home, and we appreciate you sharing stories.
Thank you.
Stay with us and get some edifying words of financial wisdom from the good folks at the trustworthy Mascoma Savings Bank. First, these good words from the businesses that support your Upper Valley Chronicle.
Coda & Coda has been providing trust, confidence, and peace of mind since 1941. And we just opened an office in Winhall, Vermont to better serve our customers. For over 70 years, Coda & Coda has served people of New Hampshire and Vermont with clean, reliable heating fuels. From bio-blended heating oil, propane gas, kerosene, diesel fuel, and gasoline, we provide the quality of our products and our unmatched superior service. At Coda & Coda, you can depend on us. We're staking our name on it.
Most paints have color that sits on the surface, but nothing beats Benjamin Moore's Color Lock technology that locks color right in, no matter how often you wash it. Color Lock technology, exclusively from your Benjamin Moore retailer.
Joining us now from Mascoma Bank is Rich Kozlowski. Welcome, Rich.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Let's face it, getting a mortgage is all about the rates. Are people only interested in getting the lowest rate possible?
Well, rates are very important, and that's why Mascoma offers a wide variety of products, all priced very competitively. But rate isn't the only thing. Mascoma Savings Bank has a very experienced mortgage lending team. Our frontline lenders, our underwriters, our processors have all been doing this for a long time. When you're working with Mascoma Savings Bank, you're going to be working with a very experienced team. Also, as a mutual savings bank, we're going to put the needs of you we're going to put the needs of you first. Mascoma's Savings Bank's mortgage lenders are paid by salary. We're not paid by commission. What that does is it puts your interest first. You'll never have to worry that one of our lenders is going to put a commission ahead of what's right for you.
Do you have to be a Mascoma Bank customer to take advantage of the low mortgage rates?
No, by taking out a mortgage with us, you will be a customer of ours, and we would like to be able to expand your relationship in any way possible, including the ability to plan for your financial future with investment products and deposits. But you can also simply just get your mortgage loan with us, and that's perfectly fine.
If someone is interested in your services that are provided, how would one go about contacting Mascoma Bank?
They could call Mascoma Savings Bank. They could also visit our website, www.mascomabank.com, and our mortgage products and services are listed right there. You'll be able to see rates and closing costs, and also some frequently asked questions are out there for you to look at.
And Rich, I know that the mortgage process can be a lengthy one. Is there something that people can do before they contact you to make their time more efficient with Mascoma Bank?
Customers can visit our website and apply online. The product applying for a mortgage can be lengthy, and by doing this, you'll give our mortgage lenders a head start. You'll have filled in all the basic information needed to get the application, and that'll really allow the mortgage lender to spend quality time with you, really asking the questions, what it is you're trying to achieve and what your goals are, and then converting that into the product that you really want, and it's going to help you meet your financial needs.
And given that same discussion about how long it can take, what do you think the time frame is from when you start to buy a home to when the deal is closed?
Well, generally speaking, in the case, if we're talking about a purchase, we're going to do our best to meet the dates that are inside that purchase and sales agreement. In your purchase and sales agreement, you're going to have a financing contingency, which is going to say when you're going to need that approval from the bank. And then there'll also be a closing date. We're going to do our best to meet those dates, but keep in mind that there are third parties outside of Mascoma Savings Bank that are also involved in the transaction, namely attorneys and appraisers. The appraisers are a little busy right now, but to close within 30 days is not out of the question.
Do you do refinancing?
Yes, Mascoma Savings Bank not only can provide financing to purchase your home, but we can also provide financing to refinance your home. Today, rates are at historic lows. And if you haven't refinanced your home in the last couple of years, you can probably save a lot of money by refinancing today. But that's one of the things where it really makes sense to sit down with a mortgage lender and really find out what it is, what are your goals and what are you trying to achieve. Perhaps if you only plan on being in the home for a short period of time, the closing costs involved will make it not financially viable to make that refinance make sense for you today. However, if it does, we're certainly going to do what we can to help you save money.
Next up is Jason Johnson from Billings Farm in Woodstock, Vermont. Jason has some photos of life on the farm, and he extends an invitation for you all to visit. Stay tuned.
Looking for something to do? Find the most interesting people, local events, and unique businesses with Upper Valley Life. Upper Valley Life takes you up and down the Connecticut River, covering the community in which you live and all that makes it special. The magazine brings the Twin State region to your doorstep with award-winning local coverage. Find out more at uppervalleylife.com. Rediscover your hometown and this great area we live in with our family of publications.
Jake's for gas. Awesome. Jake's for yummy, quick food or a sandwich made to order. Awesome. Jake's for shelves full of stuff you want. Awesome. For a friendly, helpful service, visit one of Jake's 8 places soon. Awesome. Celebrating 15 years of friendly, helpful service. Jake's Market and Deli. Awesome.
My guest right now is Jason Johnson. He is the farm manager for the Billings Farm and Museum in Woodstock, Vermont. Jason, you have a beautiful place to work.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a pretty place, and sometimes being there every day you don't appreciate it, but you go out certain times of the year and appreciate the...
It's gorgeous.
It is.
So tell us about how it started. I mean, who originally owned that farm?
So the Billings Farm has been owned by the Billings family since the late 1800s, 1871. By Frederick Billings. He started the farm and it's remained in his family. He was a conservationist at heart and wanted to conserve the land and start a farm that showed best practices for people of Vermont at the time in agriculture. And it stayed in their family really right up until today, although today it's owned by the Woodstock Foundation, which his granddaughter Mary French and her husband Lawrence Rockefeller set up to preserve the farm even longer past their passing and continue to be a legacy in Vermont forever, hopefully.
Yeah. And what's the purpose of keeping the farm open in this way in a museum and a place for people to visit?
Well, it's one of the unique places actually in the United States that an agricultural museum is actually hitched in cooperation with an actual working farm. The farm is still a working registered Jersey farm, the oldest one in the country. And but it's a place where now people can come and observe farming in Vermont as it is today, but the museum brings in the historical aspect of it, so they get to see the past and today all at once. And the real unique thing is that we try to keep it so hands-on. The public can go almost anywhere, everybody else can go on the farm. So they see cows being milked, they see the baby calves being fed, and they can see and do a lot of hands-on things in the museum. Make ice cream, make butter. It's wintertime now, so they're doing jack jumping sledding out of the orchard and sleigh rides.
Yeah, it's great. And it's a great place for kids. I know it attracts a lot of families and young children.
It is. It's a family-oriented place. There's always activities going on for really all ages of kids, whether it's sleigh rides in the wintertime, wagon rides, hands-on arts and craft projects for kids related to agriculture, or a lot of the demonstrations of agriculture in the past and present.
And tell us about the buildings. I know you have a beautiful farmhouse that's intact.
Yes. Yeah, the farmhouse is the original farmhouse that was built for the farm manager, George Aiken, the first farm manager, by the Frederick Billings family, and it's been totally restored to as it was in 1871, and just meticulously restored. It's Christmas time, it's decorated for Christmas. Other times of the year it is as it would be during that time of the year and season. A lot of stuff goes on in the farmhouse, from things going on in the creamery. There's laundry going on in the laundry some of the times. A lot of cooking in the farmhouse. So it's a museum, but it's used as a living museum in the fact that we still do stuff in there all the time. So.
Right. And so tell us about the education programs that you're running. And I know, does that run all year, the education programs?
Yeah, the education programs is a whole education department that runs year-round. A lot of school activities. There's a whole brochure. You can also go on the website, billingsfarm.org, and look at the education programs. Teachers can pick and choose different components, historical, hands-on, stuff to do with the cows, sheep, or making butter, wool activities. And actually coming up in February during school vacation week, there will be 3 days that are set aside. One day is actually a vet camp day that we do for kids that are thinking that might be something they want to do. They spend the day with a farm veterinarian and get to interact in that aspect. And then a couple other days of hands-on activities for different age groups.
And what kind of animals besides the Jersey cows do you have there?
So Jersey cows, most notably, that's what the farm's been known for years, but also South Down sheep. We have a small flock, and actually at the turn of the century there was more sheep than cows on the farm. So we maintain that for historical perspective. And then we also have quite a big draft horse program at this point. We have 3 teams that run all the time doing sleigh rides, and also period demonstrations with horse-drawn equipment during the summertime. So.
And I understand you have a big anniversary coming up this spring.
We do. This the beginning of this year is our 30th, beginning of our 30th season being open to the public as a museum and farm attached as one entity. So that's exciting. 30 years. I think sometime this summer, I heard the other day that we'll have the 1.5 millionth visitor to the farm.
Wow.
So we have anywhere between 50 and 60,000 people a year, but we'd love to have more.
That'd be great. Well, Jason, thanks for joining us. Check out Billings Farm and Museum in Woodstock, Vermont, their anniversary celebration. They're open on weekends and in the good weather practically all the time.
Yep, every day.
Thanks, Jason.
You're welcome.
Stay with us after these words from our good community sponsors, and we'll talk to Dr. Stephen Bartels, our local expert on aging-related resources.
When it comes to home mortgages, you have a lot of choices. But if you want the advantages of a great interest rate, local decision-making, and being able to pick up the phone and talk with your mortgage specialist, your choice is Lake Sunapee Bank. Visit us today.
Hubert's Family Outfitters. Always the best for less. Hubert's always has just what you need. We're the home for brand and quality. There's no other place will do the same. It's having pride in our family name. Hubert's Family Outfitters.
Your business is special. That's why it's important to surround yourself with people that can give you an advantage to help you grow your business. The commercial lenders at Lake Sunapee Bank have a reputation for doing just that. Get the advantage. Visit us today.
Our guest right now is Dr. Stephen Bartels, who is the director for the Centers for Health and Aging at Dartmouth-Hitchcock. Thank you very much for being here. And my understanding is that is that's sort of a parent umbrella for a couple different functions.
Right.
Tell us what that does.
Sure. Well, we actually are lucky to have 3 centers in one. We have, a number of years ago, were trying to think about how to help older people in the Upper Valley and across northern New England age as well in place in their communities as best as possible. And we came up with the idea to have 3 centers. One is a research center. The second is a center that's called the Geriatric Education Center, where we train doctors and nurses and healthcare professionals across all of northern New England in terms of healthcare for older adults. And then there's the Aging Resource Center. So we have something in education for healthcare professionals, research, and also programs for the public.
And I know that a lot of our audience today is going to be interested in the Aging Resource Center because that's how they can enrich their lives. Tell us what kind of services you offer there.
Sure. The Aging Resource Center is really a terrific thing for the community in the sense that it provides educational programs as well as walk-in consultation services. It also has a library. And we provide a number of programs. We actually last year provided almost 50 educational programs, and they range from all sorts of things that I think are important for people as they get older, ranging from balance groups, Tai Chi balance groups, to support service for people who are caregivers of individuals with Alzheimer's, to programs on how to age as healthy as possible and how to deal with bereavement, a whole bunch of programs that are free actually of charge to the public. And so we'll actually have our catalog, which will be coming out soon, and we'll have about 40 different classes that people can take, which is one of the things that really is very popular, and a number of the programs are actually oversubscribed every time we put them out. Yeah.
And do people have to be referred into the programs, or can they just, self-refer?
They can just show up. So the educational programs you can sign up for just by looking at the catalog that we have or going on the web. And then also people do come in to actually talk to us about things they're concerned about. So we have a walk-in service where, for example, if somebody's trying to arrange health care for their loved one in the Upper Valley to see someone who knows a lot about geriatrics, we'll help with that. We also will help people sometimes around thinking about how to navigate not only health care but long-term care, or how to set up services at home. And we work with ServiceLink and other regional support services around the Upper Valley, as well as the VNA, to help think about those sorts of things. So people can walk in and we'll provide a free consultation service around some of these things.
And so the center is really funded overall by Dartmouth. Do people have to pay to take advantage of some of these programs?
No, the way we're funded is that the Resource Center is funded by Dartmouth-Hitchcock Hospital. So they are there to kind of help the community to age as healthy as possible in the community and feel like that's really important. The research that we do is funded by the National Institute of Health and other kind of federal governments where we write grants.
I see.
And then the Education Center also is funded by a big grant that we have to provide education to healthcare providers across all of northern New England.
And do people come in with their kids, with their grown kids, and say, you know, Mom and I are looking for this, or what can we do about that?
Oh yeah, we have often we'll have people come in with their adult children, or sometimes we'll have adult children come in saying, you know, I'm moving my mother up to the Upper Valley to kind of be up here. How do we set up things so that they can live in their own home? And where do we find a doctor, or where do we find a visiting nursing service that'll help us? And sometimes we'll help orient people to that and help them to put together a program where people can live again independently in their home as long as and as safely as possible.
And so you work with agencies like VNA and the residences and all these institutions?
We sure do. We again, that's what the Resource Center is all about. We pretty much have been very thoughtful about putting together all the different types of information on types of living settings around, the Visiting Nursing Association, the Senior Center, things like that. So we work in partnership with all of these agencies and putting together recommendations.
Right. And people can find all the classes and all the services on your website.
That's right.
And they can walk in off the street.
Walk in off the street.
Great.
And we really think one of the most interesting things for me is to be in a setting where we not only have older people and family members coming into classes or asking questions, but we also have researchers in the same place, young people who are interacting with older people, learning about how to help people to age well and training the next generation of really terrific, hopefully superstars in research, while we're also providing training to doctors and nurses and healthcare providers, all under one setting, and we think that's actually unique in the country.
Yeah, that's one of the beauties of Dartmouth-Hitchcock, is they have that incredible training going on 24/7. Yeah, it really is great. Well, Dr. Bartels, thanks for being with us here today. Check out Dr. Bartels, the Aging Resource Center, and all the good services the Center for Health and Aging has at Dartmouth-Hitchcock. Thanks again.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
That's our show for today. I'd like to thank the Visiting Nurse and Hospice of Vermont and New Hampshire for making our visit here possible. Join us again next week from Valley Terrace in Wilder, Vermont, when we'll have a chance to talk to Catherine Amarante, the Executive Director of Valley Terrace in Wilder, Vermont. Leonard Brown, the Executive Director of the Bugby Senior Center, will join me to share information about the services of their busy senior center. Marilyn Bourne from Listen will highlight the capital campaign for Listen and their new building. And Bob Ellis from our hosts, Vermont, New Hampshire VNA and Hospice, will team up with Dr. Brian Lombardo from Alice Pike Day Memorial Hospital. They are working on a complex care pilot project which promises to get patients out of the hospital faster and recover more quickly at home. Remember, the local news plays every night here on YCN at 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. Watch to stay in the know with everything happening in the Dartmouth-Lake Sunapee region. The Game of the Week premieres each Sunday at 10:30 a.m. and replays at 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. This week, our crew travels to Concord's Everett Arena as our Hanover Marauders take on the always powerful Crimson Tide. I'm Ann Holmes. See you the same time next week with the VNA and Hospice of Vermont and New Hampshire at Valley Terrace in Wilder, Vermont.